When we do division on the calculator, it will automatically give us our answer as a decimal. And that's sometimes what we want, but it sometimes isn't. So let's see an example. Suppose I were to enter on the calculator 227 divided by 16. I would get 14.1875. And again, sometimes that decimal is what I want. But sometimes I want to handle what's left over in a different way. Sometimes I really just want to know the remainder. For example, if I were doing this division in order to answer the following question, if I have 227 children split as evenly as possible among 16 groups, how many children will be in each group? Now, that 0.1875 doesn't make sense in this context. I can't have 0.1875 children. The 14 makes sense. It makes sense to have 14 children in a group. But in order to figure out what's left over, I need to think about the remainder. I'm going to use my calculator to find out the remainder. I don't need to go through the whole long division process. I am going to write out the long division bracket because it's going to help me keep track of what I'm doing. If you're comfortable keeping track of what you're doing here in your head, that's fine, but it's easier to see what's going on if we look at the long division bracket. So looking at my quotient here, I got 14 whole groups. Instead of guessing one digit at a time, I'm just going to say 14. Making 14 groups of 16 uses up 224 of my children. Now this subtraction you might be able to do by hand more easily than entering it in the calculator. Or you could enter it in the calculator, 227 minus this number, 224. We have 3 children left over. And now we need to come back to the story and use some common sense. If I'm trying to split these children evenly into the 16 groups, and I have 3 children left over, what am I going to do with them? Well, I'm going to put one into one group, the second into another, the third into a third group. So I'll have 3 groups of 14 plus another one is 15, and then 16 groups minus 3 big groups is 13. In order to work that out, I actually needed the remainder. In order to find the remainder with the calculator, I used the whole number part of what the calculator gave me as my quotient, and then I used part of the long division algorithm to figure out the remainder.